Hi, y'all. This is a segment dedicated to speaking about hurt people hurting people and what that does, who you're dealing with, and how that affects your life if you choose to be with someone who hurts people. Um, Recently, I went and seen the movie Star Wars, and Star Wars I didn't want to go see. My daughter, she was very adamant about going to see it. She works at the movie theater, so getting free movies was something that she did, and you know, and is privy to getting because she is an employee of the establishment. And so Star Wars is one of the movies that she wanted to see, and I really wasn't interested in seeing the movie. However, I went in with this attitude of, I really don't want to go. Her manager was the one who actually gave me a free ticket. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go. I was just going to go and pick her and my other daughter up afterwards, but they talked me into going. I went. As a child, I really wasn't into the Star Wars franchise at all. However, seeing the movie gave me a different, actually awakened something in me that I didn't realize was there in that movie, the message that was there in that movie, and what it really was about. Just like everyone else, we think about Darth Vader and this big old red sword, and him fighting Luke and Princess Leia and Han Solo and R2D2 and then Chewie, and then the catchphrase, "The Force is with you," or "May the Force be with you." Now, how does that relate to hurt people hurting people? Well, in this movie, and I'm not going to give away the movie, it speaks to darkness and light, and how one person was constantly fighting the light. Um, and you'd think that it would be the reverse way, like someone is constantly fighting the dark, and they're like, I don't want to be overtaken by the dark, and I don't want to be a part of this, and I don't want this to consume me. But in essence, what was happening is he was trying to fight the light. And that was interesting to me, because a lot of people deal with that. A lot of people are full of darkness, and they are constantly trying to fight the light. They're trying to fight goodness, and they're trying to fight giving into that and the vulnerability that comes with fighting goodness. And so I'm like, wow. So in that moment, I'm thinking, does anybody else know this? Is anybody else paying attention to that these people are, this one particular person is fighting the light, the goodness in them. And so I'm like, okay, well, how, so the way my mind works, I'm constantly moving about in my head with ideas and how this relates to life, and how I'm going to apply this to a motivational speech for the people that need it. And so it goes to, and it speaks to the fact that hurt people do hurt people. When we deal with someone, when we meet someone, we're not really thinking about the fact whether or not they're whole when they come to us, if they're broken or not when they come to us. And so we don't really think to those things. If you're young, if you're getting into these relationships, you're really not focused on those things. You're just focused on if we get along, if we can hang out, if we're friends, if we're good partners, if we're good companions. And so we'll move from that point. But we're not really thinking about all of the actions, all of the words, all of everything that we've seen about this person that points to that this person may be incapable of loving you the way that you can love them. And so you get into these relationships, and you're not really thinking about how this is going to affect you, how this is going to affect your family if you choose to have a family with this person, or if you just stumble across having a family with this person, how you go forward. And so we put these expectations on people that are incapable of giving what you need, or can give what you're giving to them. And so you'll stay in a relationship, you'll take on the role as punisher, and you'll feel like vengeance is yours, when in essence it's not supposed to be that way. And if you're like me, you come from a household where you grew up believing that if you treated someone in a certain way, they're going to reciprocate that. They're going to give that back to you. But that's not necessarily so. A person that's incapable of loving themselves cannot love you. Let me say that again. A person that's incapable of loving themselves cannot love you. It's impossible. So when you think about that, you have to say, well, wow, how does that affect me? You know, what I'm giving to this person, I deserve to be loved the way that I'm loving them. I deserve to be treated the way that I'm treating them. They need to give me what I give them. And that's it. And so, again, you taking on this expectation that this person is even qualified or can give you what you are wanting. But in reality, you can't put that expectation on someone. You can't make the decision for someone. And sometimes that person doesn't even know why they do the things that they do or make these choices. But we will punish them for those choices. We will take on the role of avenger, and we will fight, and we will, we will turn them the way that we want them to turn. And we can't do that. And what ends up happening is that our light gets dimmed, and we are putting ourselves in harm's way, and we are being susceptible to their darkness. And then we are fighting that darkness, and then our light turns into something else. And so while they're trying to resist our light, and then we're trying to fight that darkness, and we'll get consumed with those things. So in essence, you can't take on this ideology that someone that is hurt is not going to hurt you. Getting away from that and not making it personal is very hard. Living with the idea and the understanding that you should do good unto others as you'd want them to treat you. But you also have to understand that sometimes the goodness is not necessarily going to come back from just that person. It's going to come back from different places. It's going to come back from different things. And if you're like me, where there's angels in the outfield and lilies in my valley, and God places people in my valley to help me along my way when I'm in my darkest hour, then you'll understand why you treat people the way that you do, with the expectation that, yes, it's going to come back to me, but it's probably not going to come back from that hurt person. And so the thing that you have to realize is that you can take control of your life. You can take control of how you treat people, regardless if they're hurt, because they don't need more hurt. They need love. And figuring out how to love someone through hurt is our whole purpose for being here. That's the spirit having a human experience. And just like the actor and in the movie Star Wars, and the character in this movie Star Wars, where he's constantly fighting that light, to be consumed with the light, and he wants to stay in the dark. You have to think about that when you're thinking about people who hurt people, because a hurt person is only going to hurt people. And until they seek help, which in my life, my help is God, and getting closer to self and understanding that my desires and my changes have to be internal first. It's going to be extended outward, and that's how I'm going to change. That's kind of make changes, because changes come within, and then it just kind of trickles and domino effect, and then it's given to others, and it's reciprocated, and it's a boomerang effect, and God is there. So I want to end this right now, this segment, with hurt people, hurting people, with a note that although you may be hurt by the actions of others, and it consumes you, and you take it personal, and it becomes personal because you feel like this person should just treat you like you treat them, you have to first think about if they're even capable of doing that. And if they're incapable, then you have to think about yourself and how you're going forward in that. And I say Jesus can change anything. And whether who you believe in, or whatever your higher power or universal top guy or top woman is, you need to go there for the answers, and everything will work itself out in the end, and everything will come back to you. You won't be so much a part of that darkness, but you will fill yourself with light, and that's the objective. Filling yourself with light, positive energy, positive people, positive places, things. Get toxicity out of your life and just live. And so I'm going to end on that note because I got to go in here. I got an appointment. But I want to talk to you later about this. I hope we can do another segment on hurt people, hurting people. I just wanted to give you a little tidbit of where I was going with that. Go see that movie, Star Wars. Great movie. Bye-bye. Love you.